And good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rob Johnson, coming to you from the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Tom Benson Stadium, as they are introducing the current Hall of Famers down at the down on the stage. The returning Hall of Famers, I should say, and so it's an exciting thing. YSN for the, I believe, the third year in a row involved here in the Hall of Fame. So it's an exciting day. We'll be bringing you all the action from this Enshrinment 2026. And so sit back and enjoy.
15-season veteran safety and Super Bowl 37 champion with the Bucks, John Lynch. Super Bowl 11 champion tight end with the Raiders, the Ghost, Dave Casper. He earned the nickname Mr. Clutch for his catches in game-winning situations from the Cowboys' Drew Pearson. 1976 Heisman Trophy winner and Super Bowl 12 champion from the Cowboys, Tony Dorsett. The first player with over 10,000 career rushing and 5,000 receiving yards. Super Bowl 18 MVP from the Raiders, Marcus Allen. One of only 3 players who have played for the same team for 20 or more seasons. With the Super Bowl 22 and 26 champion, Darryl Green. Super Bowl 4 champion and member of the NFL's 100th anniversary all-time team from the Chiefs, Bobby Bell. 1964 NFL champion wide receiver with the Browns, Paul Warfield. Super Bowl 35 champion, 9-time All-Pro at 3 different positions, Rod Woodson. He played all 12 seasons for the Green Bay Packers, Super Bowl 31 champion, and father of the Lambeau Leap, Leroy Butler. MVP of Super Bowl 20 and member of the feared 85 Bears defense, Richard Dent. NFL record holder for receiving yards in a season from the Lions, Calvin Johnson Jr. 3-time NFL Players Association AFC Offensive Lineman of the Year, Larry Little. 2-time Super Bowl champion and MVP of Super Bowl 8, Larry Zonka. 1975 NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year, Dr. Doom, Robert Brazile. 8-time All-Star Offensive Tackle with the Chargers and Raiders, member of the AFL All-Time Team, Rob Mix. As center for the Miami Dolphins, he gave up the fewest sacks in the league over 6 consecutive seasons, Dwight Stevenson. All-Pro 6 consecutive seasons, played in all 4 Vikings Super Bowls, Rob Yeri. League leader in rushing yards in his first 2 years with the Colts, Enshrinment James. Coach Bill Walsh called him the most intelligent, smartest, and most calculating receiver the game has ever seen. Charlie Joyner. NFL record holder for most all-time return touchdowns and punt return TDs with the Chicago Bears, Devin Hester. Tight end from the San Diego Chargers, member of the 75th and 100th anniversary all-time teams, Kellen Winslow. Led the league twice in receptions and receiving yards with the Houston Texans, Andre Johnson. Member of the Giants' Big Blue Wrecking Crew, three-time Defensive Player of the Year, Lawrence Taylor. Linebacker on the Saints Dome Patrol defense and Super Bowl 29 champion with the Niners, Reggie Jackson. The Rams team leader for receptions with 942, Super Bowl 34 champion Isaac Bruce. '19-year veteran defensive end with Buffalo and Washington, record holder with 200 career sacks, Bruce Smith. Member of the Big Blue Wrecking Crew, Super Bowl 21 champion, Harry Carson. Offensive guard for the LA Rams, who never missed a game due to injury over his 184-game career, Tom Mack. Played his entire 20-season career for the Rams, four-time Offensive Lineman of the Year, Jackie Slater. First receiver to notch 100 touchdowns from the Seattle Seahawks, Steve Largent. The owner of the San Francisco 49ers for all 5 Super Bowl victories between '81 and '94, Edward DeBartolo. Three-time Super Bowl champion wide receiver with the Niners, holds the NFL record for most career receiving yards and receptions, Jerry Rice. Four-time Super Bowl champion and three-time Super Bowl MVP, Joe Montana. Four-time Super Bowl champion with the Niners and member of the all-decade teams of the 80s and 90s, Ronnie Lott. Over 100 career sacks, the first 5-time Super Bowl champion in NFL history from the Niners and Cowboys, Charles Haley. A Minnesota Viking, he set the NFL's single-season record for receptions. A member of the 90s all-time team, Chris Carter. Ladies and gentlemen, your returning enshrinees of the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
All right, folks. We're just waiting on the ceremony to start. We're about 14 minutes before we go live. I'm Rob Johnson. I'm here with Tyler Burke. Going to bring you all the action here from the Pro Football Hall of Fame Enshrinement ceremony here on YSN Live. And I'm excited to see some great speeches. We did the press conference the other day. We had Adam Vinatieri. We had Drew Brees, Luke Kuechly, and Larry Fitzgerald the other day. And it was a great show, great press conference. The Gold Jacket dinner was phenomenal last night. And so I'm excited to see how things are going to go. We've got a lot of returning inductees, I should say, not enshrinees, because the new guys are the enshrinees, but they're getting ready to start. Showing some highlights. Lots of Saints fans. Lots of Cardinals fans here. You look across the sea, there's a good group of 49ers fans, but so far it seems like the majority of the crowd here are either, Saints fans or, well, there's a good shout of Luke for Luke Kuechly. As so we had a great time the other day at the press conference. In fact, shout out to my boy Troy Davis, as he had the question of the day and got the shout out from one of the Hall of Famers. So we're going to be getting started here in about 10 minutes. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. You're watching YSN Live.
At Joe Dickey Electric, no job is too big or too small. We do it all. We power the plants that help bring us together, the businesses that help our community thrive, and the home that you've been dreaming of. We'll even install a light bulb for you. With over 65 years of commercial, industrial, residential, and 24/7 emergency services, you can trust the experts at Joe Dickey Electric, because we are everything electrical.
Are your windows letting in more than just the view? At Window Depot, we believe replacing your windows shouldn't be a hassle. Our experienced team handles everything from consultation to installation, making the process smooth and stress-free. Upgrade your home's comfort and energy efficiency effortlessly. Contact us today for a free consultation and discover how easy and affordable it can be.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the
Seasons with the Arizona Cardinals, Larry Fitzgerald. The NFL's all-time leader with 2,673 points scored and 599 field goals. Four-time Super Bowl champion kicker with the New England Patriots and Indianapolis Colts, Adam Vinatieri. He led the league twice in combined tackles and was named the league's Defensive Player of the Year in 2012. Eight-year Carolina Panthers veteran linebacker, Kuechly. The first player in NFL history to reach 1,000 rushing and receiving yards in a single season. Three-time Super Bowl champion with the San Francisco 49ers, Roger Craig. He spent 16 of his 20 seasons with the New Orleans Saints. Holds the league record with 54 consecutive games with a touchdown pass. The MVP of Super Bowl 44, Brees. Ladies and gentlemen, the Pro Football Hall of Fame Enshrinment class of 2026, presented by Visual Edge IT. Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please rise and kindly remove your hats. Here to perform our national anthem, Cleveland native saxophonist Michael Austin Bay.
Wow. Greatest song on the planet, folks.
Please welcome Pro Football Hall of Fame President Jim Porter.
Hello, are we having fun in Canton, Ohio? You know, we all appreciate the passion of all the fans, and the reason we have that passion for this great sport is because of all these people that are on this stage. 25 million people have played this sport, and only 387 are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and we have 120 of them here today. And I want to say thank you on behalf of our entire country and this fan base. This sport is what it is because of these people on this stage, and thank you so much. We all welcome, all of the Hall of Fame families welcome you to Canton. We welcome you to this great ceremony today, and let's have a whole lot of fun. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, now let's please take a moment to remember those Pro Football Hall of Fame alumni who have passed away since we last gathered here in Canton. The Pro Football Hall of Fame would like to welcome and thank these high school football teams for attending today's enshrinement ceremony. Good luck in your upcoming season. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host for Hall of Fame today, Cynthia Freeland.
Welcome to Canton. This is Hall of Fame today. I am joined by Rondé Barber, who's the class of 2023, and Dan Faust, who's the class of 1993. Man, let's go. We are all so excited to see these speeches and welcome 5 new members into the hall with you guys. Rondé, tell us what you remember most about your enshrinement weekend.
Well, the hectic nature of this week really overwhelms you to a degree, but being able to get together with all the Hall of Famers, the brothership and the fellowship that's shared is overwhelming. But it's such an awesome experience being here in Canton. Great fan base. This show, look how many people are in the stadium tonight.
So exciting.
Really,
Give
really
yourselves a
fun.
hand. Absolutely. Dan, you actually got enshrined on the steps of the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1993. You're Hall of Famer number 165. What does it feel like now, just a couple years later, to be here?
Well, I'm glad you said 1993, not 1893.
1893.
Rondé said it best. It's about coming back and seeing everybody and having the appreciation for all the people of Canton and all the volunteers that make this weekend so special. It's really an honor to be here.
Absolutely. Well, we're so excited to celebrate this day with these 5 incredible human beings and incredible football players, obviously. Rondé, just, tell them a little pep talk here ahead of what they have going on.
Well, we got 5 great speeches coming up, and I got to tell you what, I played in the NFC South. I've not taken as many pictures with Saints fans as I have to get straight.
Panthers fans? No, Panthers fans? I think it's iron sharpening iron, obviously. How does it feel having a great quarterback going? The guy who has the second most passing yards in NFL history. How's that feel watching?
Well, it's great to watch him. I loved watching him when he was at Purdue. He was drafted by the Chargers, which made me very excited. But you know what he did after that horrible injury to his throwing shoulder? He bounced back, went down to New Orleans, and this is the result of a fabulous career by Brees.
Very special presenter for him as well for the Saints fans. So double dipping there with Coach Payton here, helping him out. So,
Knock, knock.
Knock, knock. I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for starting the show off so strong with me. I mean, I just love watching all these fans. It keeps getting bigger and better every year. The weather is downright nice, might I say. And we're so excited to see what today has in store. We're all here for greatness today.
I started thinking about this after I got voted in the Hall of Fame. And the more I think about it, the more I think it's true. And now I know it's true and I believe it. Here's the deal. I think over in the Hall of Fame, that during the day, the people go through and they look at everything. And then at night, there's a time when they all leave. And all the fans and all the visitors leave the Hall of Fame. Then there's just the workers. And the workers start to leave. And then it gets down, there's just one person. That person turns out the light, locks the door. I believe that the busts talk to each other.
Who do I think my bust would talk to? Probably every quarterback that's in there, especially the ones that are sacked. Just whisper in their ear at night, haunt them.
Situation is, I think about going through college playing against Mel Blunt. And I'm still trying to figure out why he beat me up in practice every day. And I didn't want everybody to hear that. So we'll wait till the lights go off, and then I would ask him that. And I've been asking him that question for about 4 or 5 years now. And I think somebody just turned the lights on you, and he never gets a chance to answer.
My bust is probably talking trash with Chris Carter. Because I remember when I first got in the league, Chris Carter talked a lot of trash. He's probably still talking to me.
I don't know if it's smack talk because I'm not really a smack talk kind of guy. So that would be sort of a change for me. Now, if I was going to talk trash to somebody, it would probably be, me and John Randall would go back and forth because I've never talked trash to John, and he's always talked trash to me. So that would be the other piece of like, hey, John, what are you doing over there? Because that's what he used to say to me all the time we were on the field and give me ribs and that kind of stuff. So it'd be my turn to sort of rib him for the next 20 years, at least.
And then again, I would turn to the other side and look at Dick Vermeil and say, why did you work so hard, in practice every day? A bunch of other defensive backs, I would talk to them, saying, why did they cheap shop me? When we played for, Michael Haynes, Darrell Green. Darrell Green was like a net. Mosquito he was small, but you just couldn't get rid of him. He was all up under him all the time. And, those are questions I want to ask these guys. Why they always try to hurt me. There's nothing I can remember I did to these guys. The bus is frowning at me right now, trying to get to me and beat me up. Why?
Oh, my bus runs straight to Deacon Jones and all the legendary game that blazed the trail, busting the quarterback upside the head. That's who and what I was. That's who and what I want to hang out with. So if I'm not in a group conversation with Bruce Smith, Deacon Jones, Johnny Randall, Ricky Jackson, Lawrence Taylor, all the killers of the quarterback, I don't want my bus opening his mouth. I'd like to be a fly on the wall when I let you go out.
That's a fun question. I should have over drinks.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. God has smiled on me.
I'm going deep. And Clay, turn around and you go deep right there.
The kid made it. Hallelujah!
Today I stand at the doorstep of football immortality. I knock on this door and I tell all of you, I am home. This is football heaven.
The greatest day of my life.
Because of you, my legacy lives on.
I am humbled to be welcomed to the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
This has been the sweetest ride of them all.
Something I never imagined. Standing on this stage in Canton, Ohio.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host for the 2026 Pro Football Hall of Fame Enshrinment, Chris Berman.
Thank you, everybody. Canton, Ohio. Here we are. Come on. Nice day. Great class. In 1920, in case you hadn't heard it, they invented pro football here. 1963, in case you didn't know it, they opened up the Hall of Fame here. It's 2026. We're all here. You out there and everybody watching at home on ESPN and the NFL Network with our buddies Rich Eisen, Louis Riddick, and Hall of Famer Kurt Warner, who might have something to do with our first inductee. Somehow,
all of us, how come we feel like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz? There's no place like home. There's no place like home. Because if all of us here are focused on Canton, Ohio, it can mean only one thing. We saw it, it was fun the other night, wasn't it? Football is back. All right, let me get it out of the way. Football is back. All right, look at over 30,000 have played in the NFL over 106 seasons. After today, only 387 will be enshrined here. You guys do the math. How about the almost 120 that came back to see us here this weekend? The largest number we've ever had. You can cheer louder than that. One more round. God, thank you. We have the best of the best. And I'm looking around. I think I see some hoodads. About anybody else with more touchdown passes. Is that right? I think I see, wait a minute, Arizona. And maybe some Mule Pitt, huh? You Pitt? Some of you out there? Well, you might be here to see the second leading receiver of all time. I don't know. I'm just taking a guess. I think I see, and you very rarely see them in the same place at the same time. Patriots and Colts fans. Very rare. But there's a pretty good reason. Because you might be here to salute the guy that scored more points and kicked more field goals than anybody else. You might be here for that. I think I see, hold on. Oh yeah, there's the player. All shapes. Carolina Panther fans around here. I know some of you are just sobering up after the Carolina Hurricanes won the Stanley Cup. Hey, they were the Hartford Whalers. I had a drink too, okay? You might be here to see the tackling machine that's the second youngest guy to ever go into the Hall of Fame. You might be here to see him. Don't think I forgot you, okay? Because what's a couple more minutes away when the 49er fans come back to salute one of their all-time greats. Only 3 guys ever rushed for 1,000 and caught balls for 1,000 in the same season. You might be here to see that guy, right? I think so. So, I'm going to get going in a minute, but I need your help for a minute. Everybody over there, you ready? Over there? I see the ball club over there. You guys ready? You ready down here? Ready? You ready? How about up there? You ready up there? You ready over here? Are you ready for some football? I was just checking. Well, as we just said, there's just a minimal percentage of folks who made it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That number dwindles even more when you consider how many get in during their first year of eligibility. We got a couple today. I'm going to start with one. Larry Fitzgerald. You knew that Larry had to have good hands because he was an NFL ball boy years ago in Minnesota with the Vikings. You knew he had good hands then. The Vikings head coach then was Dennis Green. He certainly saw that Larry had really good hands going for him. And now it's 2004. Dennis is now in his first year as head coach, the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals at the 3rd overall pick. Yeah, they studied everybody. Dennis and those guys did their due diligence a decade before. The rest is history, NFL history. 17 seasons, all in the desert. 1,432 catches, that's ridiculous. 17,492 yards, that's ridiculous. Both stand better than everybody else but Jerry Rice. Second all time in both of those. 121 touchdown catches, 6th best all time, but those are numbers. 5 times 100 catches in a season, 3 more times 90 or more. You know what? When he put on number 11 with Arizona, it's a lot of pressure. Am I going to make 11 Pro Bowls? He did. 11 Pro Bowls. That's pretty good. I don't know. I find that interesting. And in 2008, when the Cardinals needed him the most, Larry led the NFL in postseason, in playoff touchdown catches. He caught 30 balls overall for 546, 7 TDs, 2 in the Super Bowl. And if you close your eyes, about 2.5 minutes to go in that game against Pittsburgh down in Canton, you can see Larry catching that slam from Kurt Warner and heading straight to the end zone to give the Cardinals the lead. Close your eyes and you can see it. Kurt Warner, who threw that pass, said Larry had no weaknesses as a player. He was a Walter Payton Man of the Year, which means he had no weaknesses as a person. Maybe even Callaway gets back to the Super Bowl, even though it was a huge catch. What did he do? He handed the ball to the ref, like he did every other time. All right, present Larry today, the Hall, his son, Devin Fitzgerald.
The play I remember most is the slam that he took to the house. He wasn't known for his speed, but that play, his team was counting on him. Everyone was counting on him, and he caught the slant over the middle and ran it all the way up the middle, past Troy Polamalu, all the way to the house. I just remember how electric that play was. In the brightest moment, the lights weren't too bright for him.
There's no one that does it better than Larry Fitzgerald.
For 17 seasons, all with the Arizona Cardinals, Larry Fitzgerald defined receiving excellence.
Larry Legend does it again!
The 11-time Pro Bowler is second all-time in both career receptions and receiving yards, and famously recorded more tackles than dropped passes.
My dad was tough, fearless, electric, and unstoppable. He came out with the same intensity every single play.
Palmer gonna throw, lobs it left side of the end zone for Fitz. He's on the ground and he's still falling.
One of my favorite moments was in 2016 versus the Green Bay Packers. It was overtime, and we were on our own 20-yard line. Carson threw it across his body late in the play.
Wide open, on the 35, nobody's there.
And my dad took it, ran by so many defenders, running through them, around them, and got tripped up on the 5. Next play, we all knew the ball was going to hit, but they still couldn't stop him. And that's just, it was such a special moment to me. And I remember him looking up into the box after that play, pointed at us like he always did. And that was my favorite moment from his career. incredible man, incredible father, and an incredible role model. I am honored and privileged to present my dad, Larry Fitzgerald Jr., for enshrinement into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Larry Fitzgerald for enshrinement in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, his son Kevin Fitzgerald.
Thank you, Devin. I'm very proud of you, son. Very proud of you. Thank you. I'm proud of you, son. And I hope I'm giving you and your brothers the tools to live the lives you guys want to live. That's something that's very important. I want to thank the Hall of Fame voters. It's a tremendous honor. It's a privilege to be here and share this stage with four men I truly respect. Between us, we've got catches, passes, tackles, kicks, and rushes all covered. To my brothers, Drew, Luke, Adam, Roger, congratulations. All my life, I've been lucky enough to be surrounded by people and great institutions that surrounded me and nurtured me and inspired me to pursue excellence. Martin Luther King Park in Minneapolis, Minnesota is where it all started for me. I had my first touchdown, my first home run, first dunk, first fight. I even had my first kiss. I almost drowned in the pool there one time. At the Academy of Holy Angels High School, I had the best teachers, faculty, and coaches led by Mike Pendino and Ray Bettman and the rest of their staff, as well as a community that supported me every single step of the way. Then Valley Forge Military Academy, reinforced rigor, accountability, and punctuality. Head coach Mike Musella used to kick me in the butt and taught me that I could endure much more than I ever thought. Then I got to go to the University of Pittsburgh and the city of Pittsburgh. It gave me two of the best years of my entire life. It was filled with incredible accomplishments. I was excelling athletically, but I was also the depths of my emotions, having lost both a parent and a teammate just 2 months apart. The love and support I was surrounded by at that time from Coach Walt Harris and his staff is something that I'll never forget. That's the foundation I brought to Arizona, where I was welcomed by the Bidwell family, who owned the Cardinals for 93 years. Bill, Nancy, along with children, Bill Jr., Michael, Nicole, and Tim, thank you. I remember Mr. B. He would take me around the city so I could go see different organizations that he and his family and Cardinals Charity supported. He never wanted notoriety, even praise for those things, and I always respected that about Mr. B. Then when Michael Bidwell took over, he kept giving me the canvas to paint my version of a masterpiece. So Michael, thank you. Thank you so very much for your friendship, for your tutelage, and always being so good to my family. Thank you. And I also want to give you a big shout out for letting me, Pat P, Carson, and the rest of the boys use the planes on the golf trip. So thank you for that too. Yeah. I just want to show a little love to my Cardinal fans here in attendance today. For the Cardinal fans back home in Arizona, you guys supported us on and off the field over the years. You showed up at home games, you showed up at away games, through wins and losses. It's been 22 years in counting, Arizona, and I'll spend the rest of my life trying to replenish the well of goodwill I've been lucky enough to drink from. As all of you know, this journey is never about one person. It's always about the people who show up for us. There are two people who came into my life through my father's first was the late Coach Dennis Green. Coach Green saw something in me at 14 years old, and he gave me my first job as a ball boy for the Minnesota Vikings. And boy, he used to get on me. Fitz, get that ball on the right hash. I would always mess up the spot the ball on 7-on-7 and team drill. But 7 years later, he forgave all of that when he became head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, and I became his first pick in Arizona. Trust me. And trust me, the Cardinals, we had more personnel needs than wide receiver. We already had my boy Anquan Bolin. He was a 2003 Rookie of the Year. He was balling. But Coach Green and General Manager Rod Graves trusted what I had to offer and picked me anyway. And it unequivocally changed the course of my life from that point on. Second, when it was time to pick an agent, my dad believed the late Eugene Parker was the right man to shape me into the person and player that I needed to be. For years, Mr. Parker taught me, guided me, stood next to me the exact same way he did for his other 9 Pro Football Hall of Famers. Along with Eugene, I got a bonus mentor and an associate, Paul Lawrence. Paul, I'm sure going to miss our one-on-one basketball games, and not just because I beat you every single time. Another person who made all the difference in my life is Ann Vitale, my consigliere. And you never steered me wrong, never. When Coach Green hired me as a ball boy, I grew up watching legends being built right in front of me. Hall of Famers like John Randall, Chris Doman, Randall McDaniel, and Warren Moon taught me what it meant to demand more of yourself than anyone ever else could. Plus, they saw me at 8 in the morning before training camp practice. It was, "What's up, Fitzy? Hey, Fitz, go grab me 2 wristbands real quick." I was being acknowledged by the greats. If I wanted to ask a question at the right time, they answered. Without that experience, I'm not here. So let me thank Chris Carter, aka Uncle Chris, who I idolized as a kid growing up in Minneapolis. Uncle Chris, you took me into your family, into your home, and you gave me an education that shaped every part of who I am today. Your support was endless, and I hope that today feels like a small return on your investment. And Uncle Chris, since we got all the pleasantries out the way, I hope we both can agree my hands have always been better than yours. Another player who changed my life was Randy Moss. People ask me all the time what I learned from Randy Moss, and my answer is always the same: I learned nothing. Because there was nothing I could do like him on the football field. They call him the freak for a reason. But what I did learn from Moss is about generosity. He gave me his clothes. He gave me his size 14 shoes. He came to my high school games. He let me use his car. And he even surprised me with the knock for the Hall of Fame. Randy, being acknowledged by you, someone bigger than life, it meant the world to me. And I'm so happy you're healthy, brother. One of my closest friends to this day, who I also met as a 14-year-old on those fields in Mankato, Minnesota, is my guy, Matthew Hatchett. Hatch, thank you for taking the time in the midst of your NFL career to stay after me after practice, help me sharpen my own skills. I'm grateful for the role you play in my life. I'm grateful for what you do for my kids as well. I also want to thank 2 players that I was fortunate enough to be teammates with my first 2 years in the league. They showed me the roadmap to success. The first, Emmitt Smith. At 20 years old, I walked into that Cardinals locker room, and the all-time leading rusher made himself available to me. I could talk to him. I could confide in him. I could rely on him. The only thing I couldn't do was beat him and wrestle in the locker room. Man, he was old when I got there, too. He was so old, man. That joke is strong, man. He's strong. Oh, man. Well, Emmitt, I admire how you always knew everybody's name in the building, and how you always practiced with competitive integrity, even in your last season. Thank you for being such a great example. Kurt Warner is my other teammate I want to thank. He came to the Cardinals when I was 21, and he shaped me by the example that he set. Through his faith, through his service to the community, as a teammate, a husband, and a father. And also his weird, insatiable love for spaghetti. Kurt, when you demanded that I elevate my preparation, consistency, and accountability, you dragged me into the life's winner circle. The timing couldn't have been better for a young, impressionable kid, and I continue to aspire to be the kind of man that you are. I want to acknowledge my other four head coaches, Ken Wisenhunt, Bruce Arians, Steve Wilkes, and Cliff Kingsbury. You and your coaching staffs contributed to this journey in your own way, and it means a great deal. Wiz and BA, you two coached me in my prime, and I hope you know how special those years were to me. And I would not be on this stage without you and your staffs. I can't mention every single person who nurtured me during my football journey because I'd be up here all day just like my guy Ray Lewis was 8 years ago. But seriously, I want to recognize my coaches, teammates, trainers, equipment staff, and so many others who are here. Would you guys all please stand up and let me just celebrate you? Tyler, Gray, Chris, Joe, Kelvin, Adrian, AQ. Love y'all boys. Pat P, I see you, boy. Thank you so much. Thank you. So many of you have been my rising tide. We shared moments that I'll carry forever. Folding towels in the locker room, treatment in the training room, late nights in the weight room, early mornings in the film room, running routes and catching balls long after everybody has left the field, quiet conversations where trust is earned, barbecues and Bible studies, golf and games of chess, weddings, and our kids being born. You were my second family. All of it was powered by love. And that love began with my entire family, my parents, my brothers, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins. My brother Marcus, a talented player in his own right, and dad to my favorite nephews, Jalen and Prince. Marcus, even though you're a little brother, you did your best to protect me. I made that a tough job at times. I love you. Thank you, man. Thank you. Plus, we share the greatest gift anyone's ever received, the people who raised us. Even though our parents, Carol and Larry, are no longer with us, I still try every single day to make them proud. Mom, you were the first champion I knew and the greatest one of all. Lost your fight with breast cancer, but in the years that you lived, you taught me how to love. You showed me how to fight with integrity. You set the standard for our family and our community. And you always will be an example of a life well lived. My dad, who I lost recently, is also here in spirit. I can feel his presence. He was the foundation of our family and the standard that I measured myself against. Dad, I know there were times where it must have felt like you were carrying the weight of the world, but you always showed up. And your willingness to love and sacrifice with the consistency was the blueprint that I used to raise your grandsons. Which brings me back to where I started with my 3 sons. Devin, I see your discipline, and it excites me about your future. Apollo, I see your curiosity. It expands everyone around you. Milo, I see your fire, and I want to help you harness those amazing gifts. There's one thing that I want you boys to remember most from everything you've heard. Surround yourself with people who tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Those are the people who actually love you. Copy their examples, and remember, there's never much traffic on the extra mile of life. Bring others along with you. Don't just pursue excellence for yourself. Help others pursue it too. That's the part of this story that matters the most. Not the likes, not the follows, not the fame, but the people you travel with, the values you uphold. And in the end, it's not just about excellence. It's about the people who you help get there. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart, and may God bless you all.
What a way to kick things off here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Rondé, what did you hear and what did you take away from that amazing speech?
Well, firstly, wonderfully delivered by Larry Fitzgerald. I'm struck by the amount of greatness that was surrounding him throughout his entire career. I mean, he's blessed to have the mentors that he had in his career. He's the gold standard receivers for his generation. But the reality is you never get here by yourself, and I thought you captured that in that speech. It's I never got a chance to defend him as much as some other people that have been around here. I wasn't Patrick Peterson. I didn't get to play him in practice every day. But I tell you what, Larry Fitzgerald is a gold jacket for a reason. I'm so proud to have him as a teammate.
And really, there's one word to describe what we just heard and a career that he had for 17 years. The one word, obviously, is class. He is a class human being and so well deserved to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
I don't think we make enough about that stat. 41 tackles, 29 dropped passes. That's like no dropped passes, considering he leads at number 2 in the NFL all time for receptions and receiving yards. So when you're looking at that, what does that tell you about who he is?
Well, I mean, Chris Carter was a pretty good receiver in his own right, and to say that he had better hands than him, I think says everything that we need to know about Larry Fitzgerald. Consummate professional. He is the reason that we go to football games to watch him perform. I got to tell you, I enjoyed that speech probably as much as I enjoyed watching him play.
Stan, if you could pick one route to throw to Larry Fitzgerald on, what would it be?
Oh, we got to go deep. Come on. We got to go deep. Because I know he's going to be there. And he's going to have to worry about a bad pass. Because I'm going to throw it as far as I can. And he's going to run it down and score with it.
Well, he had the coach in Brees for no biscuit, no biscuit. So he got plenty of those opportunities.
Fair enough. I mean, that's a way to kick things off. I don't know if I'd want to follow that speech. I mean, the class of the NFL, this is just such a wonderful receiver, wonderful speech giver as well. Up to see here how we have the next one going. It's a kicker, so it's going to be great.
With us today from the 10th anniversary class of 2016, Edward DiBartolo. Tony Dungy, Marvin Harrison, and Orlando Pace. And from the 20th anniversary class of 2006, Harry Carson and Warren Moon.
That's a hell of a start, boy. Like I said, that's a hell of a start, boy. Thank you. The path to Canton, Ohio for a pure kicker is as unusual as it is extraordinarily narrow. Until today, there are only two in the Hall of Fame. Jan Stenerud came from Norway to Montana State on a ski jumping scholarship. How'd that turn out? Morten Andersen came from Denmark to the United States. Yeah, he was a saint, that's for sure. He came as a high schooler from Denmark as a Youth for Understanding exchange student. They're both here today. Give them both a round of applause. And now the first one that doesn't have a Scandinavian accent. He's from South Dakota. He kicked for South Dakota State. He's Adam Vinatieri. But little known fact. Adam, you knew I was going here. His career was almost derailed 150 years ago. He said that's actually impossible. How would that be? 150 years ago would make it 1876. Adam's great, I might have the greats wrong, but you get the point, grandfather was the band leader for General George Custer. Yep. Yeah. Well, Custer liked music out there in the day. Heading into the Battle of Little Bighorn, though, a couple days in advance, Custer told the band, you know what, it might be a little rocky out here in the next couple days. So why don't you guys head back to town or head back to the fort? Well, it was more than rocky. It was a little rough, if you know your history. Suffice it to say, that was the biggest miss in Vinatieri history, okay? We all know there haven't been many misses since. In the clutch, nobody was ever better, whoever kicked. His 45-yard field goal with under 30 seconds to go, in a blizzard, in the Tuck game, in Foxborough, for the Patriots against the Raiders to tie it and then win it in another snow kick. That 45-yard field goal, I don't mind saying, is the greatest kick in NFL history, okay? Just 2 weeks later, no snow, but a 48-yard field goal to win the Super Bowl as 14-point underdogs against the St. Louis Rams in Super Bowl 36. 2 years later, 41-yard field goal, also just about at the buzzer in one of the best Super Bowls that doesn't get talked about enough when the Patriots beat the Carolina Panthers in Super Bowl 38. 10 years in New England, 3 Super Bowl rings. But then, 16 more years in Indianapolis. 16 more. And another Super Bowl ring. Let's put it this way. All right, forget how many games he played. Adam was kicking for New England long before Tom Brady got there, and he was kicking for Indianapolis long after Peyton Manning left there. How about that for a little longevity? Also, the most points in NFL history, most field goals in NFL history, 599. Most consecutive field goals made, 44 in a row. That's actually ridiculous. Hello. To present Adam today here in Canton, the CEO and co-owner of the Indianapolis Colts, Carly Ursay Ford.
23-yard field goal attempt for Adam Vinatieri. Kick is up.
I'd like to give you a few numbers about Adam. The first one being 2,673 points. First in the NFL all time.
No one has scored more points in the history of the NFL than Adam Vinatieri.
The second one is 242. It's the number of wins that Adam has had.
Vinatieri's kick is up, and the kick is good, and the New England Patriots winning the Super Bowl.
To me, that is a testament to how you cannot deny this kicker, this clutch kicker, entrance into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
The kick is on its way. It is good! The Colts win!
Defined by his unmatched poise in the biggest moments and delivering in high-pressure situations, Adam Vinatieri made 599 regular season field goals and 238 postseason points, the most in league history.
When we brought Adam in 2006, we were so fortunate to have someone that had already lived and endured so many clutch moments and clutch games. It was such a pinnacle moment for my father. He had worked so hard for so long to bring a Super Bowl trophy to Indianapolis, and Adam was that final piece that helped make that dream a reality.
The kick is on its way. It is good. What a kick by Adam Vinatieri.
He immediately turned around in that year to help us win the Super Bowl in 2006.
The Colts are world champions. World champions for the first time since 1971.
You made my dad's dream possible. Adam, your consistency, your resilience, and your mental toughness epitomizes the standard that we want to uphold and what it means to be an Indianapolis Colt.
How often do you get to say this? This ball goes to the greatest of all time.
It just means so much to me that you would give me the honor to help enshrine you into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I know my dad wishes he could have been here to do it. I know he'll be smiling down when we unveil your bust. I am honored and privileged to present Adam Vinatieri for enshrinement into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Adam Vinatieri for enshrinement in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Indianapolis Colts owner and CEO Carly Ursay Gordon.
Good afternoon. So here I stand at the top of the mountain, the pinnacle of greatness, the highest achievement in my professional career. I can officially say my biggest dreams have come true. As I look out into the crowd, I don't just see Hall of Famers, teammates, coaches, friends and family, I see every person who believed in me, challenged me, sacrificed for me, and played a role in turning my childhood dream into this unforgettable moment. This honor is one that I accept with tremendous gratitude and humility, because I know no one can make it on this stage alone. Today, it's not just about me. Today, it's about family. It's about teammates. It's about coaches. It's about organizations that believed in me. And it's about every person who played a role in this incredible journey. First, I want to thank the Pro Football Hall of Fame. To everyone who preserves the history of this incredible game and honors those who helped shape it, thank you. To be included amongst these legends whose busts fill these halls is one of the greatest honors of my life. To my fellow class, the 2022, congratulations. Each of you have left an unforgettable mark on this game, and I couldn't be more honored to share this moment with you and forever be connected as members of this Hall of Fame class. Congratulations. To my parents, Paul and Judy, thank you. You gave me far more than opportunities. You gave me values. You taught me that hard work, humility, accountability, perseverance, and faith. You taught me that if something was worth doing, it's worth doing it right. That character matters more than recognition. The countless hours driving me to practice, games, and camps, sacrifices I didn't fully understand then, but appreciate more every day. Everything that I became as a football player started with the lessons that you taught me. Thank you for believing in me long before anyone else did. And Dad, I can't tell you how special it was for you to have you as my coach throughout my childhood. My siblings, Chad, Christine, and Bo, thank you for being my first teammates, my first competitors, and some of my biggest supporters. Growing up together taught me how to compete, how to laugh at myself, and reminded me that no matter where football took me, South Dakota would always be home. Throughout my career, I've been called a lot of names. Mr. Clutch, Automatic Adam, the Iceman, even GOAT. But my favorite title is Dad. For so many years, I focused on football accomplishments, records, championships, and game-winning kicks. But as life has taken me down new paths, I've realized that some of my greatest accomplishments extend far beyond football. Those being a loving father and husband. Football is temporary, family is forever. Watching my two sons harvest their first deer, taking my daughter to every equestrian competition, and proudly admiring her ribbon display. Traveling the world with the love of my life and somehow finding new reasons to fall in love with her over and over again. Those are the moments that matter most to me. Those are the memories that I'll carry long after anyone remembers how many field goals I kicked. To my wife, Valerie, there simply aren't enough words. People see the game-winning kicks, the championships, the celebrations. What they don't see are the sacrifices, the missed holidays, the uncertainty, the pressure, the countless moments where football demanded all of my time. Yet somehow, every step of the way, you carried those burdens with grace, strength, and unconditional love. Without you, I am not me. And as the kids like to say, I definitely outkicked my coverage. Those accomplishments are not mine alone. Every record, every championship, every honor was only possible because I had someone at home who never stopped believing in me. You gave me 3 incredible children. You gave me purpose beyond football. You are my greatest blessing, my best friend, and the greatest gift football has ever given me. And I love you. To our children, AJ, Allison, and Gabriel, being your dad has been the greatest accomplishment of my life. Far greater than any kick, far greater than any record, far greater than even standing on this stage today. I hope when you look back at my life, you don't just remember statistics or championships. I hope you remember that your dad worked hard, honored his commitments, treated people with respect, loved God, loved his family, and did everything possible to provide you with the life that you deserve. Make or miss, win or lose, the greatest joy I ever had was walking through the door being attacked with hugs and kisses. When I got that knock on my door telling me that I've been elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, I had a lot of time to reflect. And I realized something. The legacy that you leave on this earth is temporary. The impact that you leave on people you love lasts forever. That's the legacy that I care the most about. To the New England Patriot organization, thank you, Bill Parcells and Mike Sweatman, for taking a chance on an undrafted kid. When others saw limitations, you saw possibilities. To Mr. Kraft and the Kraft family, thank you for believing in me. Thank you for building an environment second to none. These past 25 years of the Patriot dynasty may never be repeated. Your time to join us on this stage and in the hall is right around the corner, and I can't wait. I would repeat those last few statements about Coach Bill Belichick as well. Thank you for demanding excellence every single day. Your preparation, discipline, and attention to detail shaped far more than my football career. Unfortunately, Bill couldn't make it here today. There's a lot going on at UNC right now. He may be on a recruiting trip right now looking for the next Lawrence Taylor. I thought it was because training camp had already started, but in truth, because he's judging his girlfriend's cheerleading competition. All jokes aside, in my opinion, Bill is the greatest coach of all time. To every coach, trainer, equipment manager, strength coach, nutritionist, front office member, security guard, ball boy, doctor, every person behind the scenes, thank you. Championship organizations aren't built by stars. They're built by people whose names rarely make headlines. Except maybe one ball boy? I'll wait for it. Go ahead, yeah. You made all of us better. To the Patriot fans, you assholes, where are you? Love you guys. Thank you. Through snow, rain, freezing temperatures, and unforgettable moments, you stood beside us every step of the way. You made Foxborough an electrifying place to play. To my teammates in New England, football is the ultimate team sport. Man, we had a great team. Being 14-point underdogs in that Super Bowl and finish the game world champs still gives me chills. Sorry, Kurt. No kicker succeeds without the other 10 guys on the field. Thank you for trusting me with the biggest moments. I was lucky enough to play with the greatest quarterback in Patriot history. Unfortunately, he was unable to make it here today. Drew Bledsoe. I had a few more Tom Brady jokes, but I was afraid that he'd run up on the stage and maybe give me a Will Smith like he did to Logan Paul last night. Tom, you changed the game forever. But what I'll remember most is the teammate that you were. Your belief in the people around you inspired all of us to raise our standards, and I'm honored our careers became part of the same path. To the Indianapolis Colts organization, thank you for welcoming my family with open arms. Indianapolis quickly became home. To Mr. Irsay and the Irsay family, thank you for your generosity, your passion, and your belief in me. To me, Jim was the ultimate rock star. One of the most generous people I've ever met and I've ever known. Out of all the famous kicks I've made throughout my career, somehow my greatest accomplishments in Jim's eyes was a golf shot at one of his charity outings. That was Jim. He loved greatness in every form, and he truly loved his city. You're missed every single day. Carly, Casey, and Kaylin, thank you for the kindness, friendship, and support you've always shown my family. Watching you honor your father's legacy while leading this great organization is truly inspiring. I couldn't be more excited to watch the next chapter of Colts history unfold under your leadership. Indianapolis, you're in great hands with Carly. Her passion for this organization, her unwavering commitment to excellence, and her love for this team will ensure the Colts continue to be one of the premier franchises in the NFL for years to come. To every coach, trainer, staff member, and employee of the Colts organization, thank you. We couldn't have done it without you. Aaron Burrill, where are you? You're out here somewhere. Aaron, spelled with an E. Yes, it's a man, spelled with an E. Mother wanted a girl. Thank you for your countless hours and effort to keep me healthy. To Hayden Thompson, thank you for all of your sacrifices to keep me on the field. To the Colts fans, your excitement fueled us all. Thank you for embracing my family from day one. Indianapolis will forever hold a special place in our hearts. To my teammates in Indianapolis, from the very first season with the Colts, I had the privilege of helping bring the first Super Bowl to the city of Indianapolis. That will always be one of the greatest memories of my football career. But what made it truly special was sharing that journey with all of you and celebrating it all together with you. I'll never forget the energy, the excitement, and the pride that swept through the city. Peyton, thank you for generously donating your forehead for today's teleprompter. A gigantic forehead means a big brain, and your football IQ is unmatched, buddy. The way you managed the offense, the team, everything in the entire organization was incredible. Your leadership led this team to greatness. Most people know Peyton for his football mind, but I was lucky enough to know the person behind the helmet. He's a great teammate, a great friend, and someone who truly cared about everyone in the locker room. I'm thankful our paths crossed, and I'm proud of everything we accomplished together. Hey, Matt is here in the crowd today. Great to see you, brother. The only person who enjoyed holding my balls more than my wife. She held for me in the off-season when everyone else was gone. Get that right. As I reflect over 24 NFL seasons, 1 season overseas, 4 years in college and 4 years in high school, I've realized something. To many people, success is a destination. To me, success was always a mindset. When people hear the words greatness, they usually think about the biggest names on the biggest stages. But greatness isn't created under bright lights. Greatness is built on empty practice fields when it's below zero. Greatness is sacrificing temporary fun for meaningful outcomes. Greatness is turning doubt into belief. Preparation matters. Character matters. People matter. Belief in yourself is your strongest weapon. Fear and doubt are simply down payments on problems you may never ever face. The only fear I really ever had was getting franchise tagged a 4th time by the New England Patriots. All you doubters, thank you. Your criticism became fuel. Your doubts became motivation. You helped make me better. And today, I officially close 1 chapter of my life and continue another. Today, I get to be a high school football coach. But clearly, my coaching skills are subpar because many of you have seen Gronkowski go 0 for 2 with a kick of destiny. I also get to be a fitness influencer, an average golfer, very solid cornhole player, a walking connoisseur with my wife, and yes, even a sorority dad. Football will always hold a special place in my heart. It gave me far more than victories. It gave me lifelong friendships, purpose, unforgettable memories, and it gave me the opportunities beyond anything I could have ever imagined. It also gave me quite a few accomplishments. All-time leading scorer, 4-time Super Bowl champ, most career field goals, NFL 100 all-time team. The list goes on, but Jim Porter told me I only had 10 minutes. At the end of the day, none of these accomplishments define who I am. What matters most is that I was the best husband I could be, the best father, the best teammate, the best friend. I don't want to just be remembered for kicking footballs through uprights. I want to be remembered as that kid from South Dakota who never gave up on his dreams. A God-fearing man who loved his family unconditionally, a teammate people could count on, a husband who adored his wife, and a father whose greatest joy was simply being dad. And thanks to all of you, greatest kicker in NFL history. And Morton, I got my cleats backstage just in case you disagree. I'm just teasing, buddy. I love you. In closing, there is, however, one final thing that I would like to say. I want to thank the game of football. Football would have been so easy for me to forget to tell you how much you mean to me. If you were sitting here in the crowd today, this is what I would say. I love you with everything I had. There was a time when I thought I wanted you more than air, but I was wrong. You were the air. You gave me purpose. You gave me direction. You gave me a life I could never have imagined. The beautiful thing about our relationship is that the more that I gave to you, the more you gave back to me. The more I devoted myself to you, the more you rewarded me. The more I committed to you, the more you committed to me. I tried to honor you every single day because I knew you deserved nothing less than my very best. I gave you 38 years of my life, and in return, you gave me a lifetime of memories. I gave you points, you gave me friendships. I gave you countless hours of work, and you gave me opportunities to travel the world, experience different cultures, and meet extraordinary people. Every sacrifice became an investment, and somehow, football, you always gave me back more than I put in. Looking back, I realized I never was just playing football. We were building a life together. You challenged me, humbled me, disciplined me, and ultimately shaped the man I became. Now it feels like a parent letting go of a grown child. You raised me, prepared me, and believed in me, and now you're telling me it's time for the next chapter. For so many years, football, you were the mountain that I chose to climb. Today, standing at the summit, I finally understand what the climb was really about. It was never just reaching the top. It was the view you gave me along the way. The people I love, the family I cherish, the friendships I've made, and a life richer than I ever dreamed possible. I gave you everything I had, and somehow you gave me even more in return. Thank you for the life you gave me. I hope I honored you as much as you honored me.
Who knew Automatic Adam was also an amateur comedian? I mean, he's got a third career, fourth, whatever it is now, as the guy who can make us all laugh. That was incredible. We laughed, we cried. Dan, what was your favorite part?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious what it was. I mean, there's going to be some memes out there. Was that Rickles or was that? Oh, fantastic. No, you know, the clutch part of his career just kept coming over and over and over again. Bigger the game, the rougher the conditions. That ball still went through the uprights. He is so deserving of this honor to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Well, I got to tell you, kickers have to be disciplined. And I thought that speech was very disciplined. And then he let loose. And he toed the line about a good as you can. And I got to tell you, from humble beginnings, not a lot of people know he started in Amsterdam on the Admirals when he was undrafted in '95 and got his opportunity. There's so much to love about what he said. And to be honest with you, if he's the standard, it's hard for me to believe there's going to be a kicker that ever matches what Adam Vinatieri did in his career. But my favorite part of that speech clearly was the very end. That love letter that he just presented to football, the game of football, was beautifully done. Adam, well done. Great speech, my friend. And to your Bill Belichick people out there, woo.
I mean, there's a lot of cheerleading fans out there too, I believe. Anyways, I think 129 points is something you should remember. That is what he leads the league in terms of scoring. So it's going to be very hard for someone to catch that number. 24 seasons, obviously, is what it took here. But I think he left a nice cushion there so that he's not going to get the Morton Anderson treatment that he just gave, because that's who number 2 is.
Well, that longevity is incredible. And of course, Morton set the standard, but Adam is right there with him, obviously. It's so good to see somebody from South Dakota to make it here to the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
I mean, 3 kickers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and we got 3 really good ones, and the all-time leading scorer is well deserved to be wearing this gold jacket now.
Well, the next speech up, you went to a great college. Boston College is where I went as well. So Luke Kuechly is up next.
With us today from the 25th anniversary class of 2001, Mike Muncha, Jackie Slater, and Lynn Swan. And from the 30th anniversary class of 1996, Charlie Joyner and Mel Renfro.
First thing that really struck me was, of course, the passion the YSN team had of sports. But what really stood out was the respect they seem to show every program in the area. There seemed to be no bias, and I truly admired that. You got to work hard for what you get. You're not going to win a beauty contest around here. You got to put the work in northeastern Ohio, and YSN certainly does that and kind of personifies the area. My name is Super Dave O'Malley, and my sports network is your sports network.
The environment in the hospital can be very intense for a patient. Being able to put a smile on their face brightens up my day. I go to Youngstown State University and my passion is nursing. What I love about studying nursing is that it takes you out of the classroom and into the lab. It's really hands-on. The professors here push you to be your absolute best, so if you want it, you gotta work hard for it. I am so excited about my future. I'm Shantiana and I am why I'm proud.
At Joe Dickey Electric, no job is too big or too small. We do it all. We power the plants that help bring us together, the businesses that help our community thrive, and the home that you've been dreaming of. We'll even install a light bulb for you.
Well, a night at the Improv, wasn't it, for that? Hold on, we got a picture going on, which I'm by accident photobombing. My bad, Deb. Well, not many can say they are true kings in the Queen City. Well, this man may be the only one that's king in both Queen Cities. If you think about it, grew up in Cincinnati, played his whole NFL career in Charlotte. Luke Kuechly. First round pick, as you folks in Charlotte know, in 2012 by the Carolina Panthers out of Boston College. He immediately made his mark by leading the league in tackles very first year with 164 of them, and of course was Defensive Rookie of the Year. Then, sophomore season, there were no doubt that his combination of athleticism, football knowledge, savvy, oh, did I forget, deep passion for the game, was raising him already to the highest level at linebacker. 156 tackles that year. He had 24 tackles in one game. Yikes. And he was named, as you would imagine, Defensive Player of the Year for the whole league. Luke played 8 seasons, all of them with over 100 tackles a year, even in one where injuries held him to 10 games. The most interceptions over the span that he played by any linebacker over the years. 8 years played, 7 Pro Bowls. That's a pretty darn good percentage. And how about this one? Luke is just a few months past his 35th birthday. Some of us have socks older than that, but I digress. That means he is the second youngest ever to be enshrined here. Slightly younger, that's right. Slightly younger by a couple of months than a couple of then 35-year-olds named Jim Brown, Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson. Only Gale Sayers at 34 was younger. You might have heard of those guys that I all just mentioned. To present the only man to start and finish his career in Carolina to be enshrined here into the Hall of Fame, Luke's dad, Tom Kuechly.
I want to get this one right.
They called Luke Kuechly Captain America because he always made the play to save the day. The gold standard at linebacker. In just 8 seasons, he earned 7 Pro Bowl nods, 5 first-team All-Pro honors, 2012 Defensive Rookie of the Year, and 2013 Defensive Player of the Year.
Off the field, I think that you would find that Luke is just an average guy. On the field, he becomes a different person, relentless in his pursuit of getting the job done.
I'm all over it!
Luke has definitely been blessed with the physical ability.
That's why you come up and stick a bat in the mouth.
The intellectual ability.
Chuck, what is the read this play?
His driving influence is his desire to compete and perform to the highest that he can and win.
During his tenure, no one in football made more tackles. And no linebacker picked off more passes.
Now shout not, run up the middle, or throw it the screen pass. So says the gospel, according to Luke.
His greatest on-the-field moment, in my mind, is the game against Dallas, where he intercepted a pass. And on the very next play, intercepted another pass.
Intercepted again. Kuechly picks another one off the midfield. After field to get 2 interceptions.
Oh, it's great, man. We got a great team effort today, and I'm happy for our team.
I think that Luke may have changed the game by showing the importance and necessity of the study of your opponents to learn about what they do, when they do it, and how they do it, and gave him an opportunity to be thinking in their terms so that he could defend against what they were going to throw at him.
Statistics only scratch the surface. He was the heartbeat of the Panthers defense. In 2015, he kept them pounding all the way to the Super Bowl. Now, Captain America answers the call one final time in football's greatest arena.
Through the fame, the notoriety, the accolades, he has remained a good person, and he's kept that spirit alive. I am honored and privileged to present my son, Luke Kuechly, for enshrinement into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Luke Kuechly for enshrinement in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, his father, Tom Kuechly.
Thank you, Dad. You're over there, and tears coming out of your eyes, and I don't have to cry because you've already done it. So, thank you everybody for being here, and thank you to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the selection committee, and everybody who's made this day possible. Jim, Jeff, and the whole crew here at the Hall of Fame, you have not only created an unbelievable weekend, but an exciting journey from the time we were all together in February in San Francisco until now. This class of 2026 is special, and I'm so excited to enter with you guys. Drew, you're the best player that I've ever played against. Your process, anticipation, that dang cadence that you had, I can still hear it. It's something that'll keep with me forever. And Coach Payton's right next to him, and if I ever hear that song, Stand Up and Get Crunk, it ruins my mood. I can't stand it. Larry, we've had so many battles. I respect the consistency that you've had throughout your career. You played outside, inside, to block, caught everything. Adam, you've had 2 Hall of Fame careers with 2 teams. Like the rest of these guys, you've had the gift of consistency, durability, and apparently quite a bit of humor. And then Roger, the first guy to eclipse 1,000 in the air and 1,000 on the ground. Your son Roderick's been right next to you since the moment I mentioned your family's infectious joy and happiness is what football is about. And it's been so fun to see the last couple months. The 382 guys here that entered before us, you guys were the standard. Our games were modeled off what we saw from you guys. And Pep, there was no cooler moment than being with all of you guys last night at the Gold Jacket dinner. This game teaches you a lot if you're willing to listen, willing to observe. It's taught me resilience, consistency, toughness, the value of communication, how to find common ground, and most importantly, it taught me to enjoy it along the way. Because oftentimes the best moments you are in are the ones you currently are. Ron Rivera used to beat that into our head and say, be where your feet are. He didn't mean just be where your feet are when you're at the Super Bowl playing with and against incredible players. He meant be where his feet are all the time, and that's been great advice. The joy football gave me didn't come from any particular win. It came from competing, from studying, from practicing, and from preparing. And joy came, most importantly, from the people that I was with. I think about the bus rides, the plane flights, being at Wofford College with each other during training camp. You've never seen guys so happy to have a night off at Venus Pie eating pizza. I know Greg Olson's down there nodding his head. The relationships formed through football are unique. You see each other at your best, you see each other at your worst. You spend long days together in meeting rooms. You learn how different people communicate, lead, and overcome challenges. And over time, teammates become friends, and friends become family. That's why when people ask me what I miss most about football, it's not one specific game or one specific play. It's the locker room, which I feel like I have again with you guys up here. It's the conversations that have nothing to do with sports. It's celebrating together after wins and hurting together after losses. There's no way to measure what the game of football has given to me. The joy it's provided, and more than anything, the people that I've been so blessed to be around as a result of this game. I was lucky to have started playing football right down the street in Cincinnati with the Golden Bears as a 4th grader. And then on to St. Xavier High School in Cincinnati, Ohio with Coach Steve Speck. The St. Xavier Bombers football team is right over here, and I'm so happy they're here today. And then off to Boston College, where I met some of the best friends anyone could ask for. And then finally, when the Richardson family gave me an opportunity to come to the NFC South and join the Carolina Panthers. Being part of the Panthers organization was a special experience. From the front office to PR, Drum, Charlie Dayton, and Ryan Anderson. Thanks for always having my best interests in mind and taking care of us. To the cafeteria and security guys, everybody was always pulling in the same direction. It was an amazing group of people, and some of our relationships have transcended the game. When David Tepper took over, he kept the team's energy and focus going strong. He and Nicole have remained so welcoming to me since I finished playing, and have given me so many opportunities to remain involved with the team, and that has meant so much to me. Thank you, guys. They deeply care, and we are so close. And I know that, like me, you guys are super excited for the season. Back when I arrived in Charlotte, I didn't have to look hard for how things were done. Marty Herney, our GM, and Ron Rivera, our head coach, created a team that valued the person, hard work, being a good teammate, and most importantly, like I mentioned, enjoying the game of football. Hall of Famer Sam Mills set the tone for what the linebacking room was supposed to look like. When I arrived in Carolina, that standard was held by John Beeson and Thomas Davis and was learned from our GM currently, Dan Morgan, sitting right in front here. I couldn't have asked for a better person to start my playing career than next to Thomas. He taught me about effort, toughness, competitiveness, and most of all, having joy in the game of football. That joy can never be taken away, and it helps you find a path forward when this game challenges you. Like I have mentioned, I arrived in Charlotte as a kid and needed guidance outside the walls of football, and Steve Luquire provided that to me. You've been there as someone I can talk to in the most important times of my career. Steve, thank you for helping me. Continue to help me navigate Charlotte. You're always there, and thank you. Another person I learned so much from was our defensive coordinator, Sean McDermott. Some coaches say, this is how we do things, and if you don't want to do it this way, you're wrong. But McDermott, alongside our position coaches, Al Holcomb, Steve Russ, Warren Beelan, and Bill McGovern at Boston College, they created a playground, and inside that space, you play the game that worked best for you, but most importantly, still worked best for the team. That creativity remained when Steve Wilkes and Eric Washington took over as defensive coordinators. You guys let me be me, and that's something that I always appreciate. Another creative person was RV Ryan Vermeulen, our trainer, and his whole crew. A good trainer is more than a trainer. They talk you off the ledge. They're honest with you. They take care of you. They put you back together. They understand you. RV, I always felt like you knew what motivated me. You could see it on my face when something bothered me, and that's why you did such a great job. While we're talking about training, I want to thank the guys in our weight room and our equipment room, Hal, Snaves, and Jason. Your room was one of my favorite places to be in the building. The energy was unbelievable and yet a huge part of my career. Donnie, Greg, Danny, and Jackie, our guys in the equipment room, you were consistent, super proud of your work, and not afraid of a little humor, and we needed that. Off the field, I've been blessed with wonderful colleagues. I first met Howard Skall and braided in Florida when I was 20 years old and training for the combine. Howard and I started as colleagues, and over time, our business relationship has become one of my best friendships. I know his family, he knows mine. We've been all over the place. We've been all over the U.S. together. We've had great dinners and great times, and I've created a lasting friendship. Thanks, Howard. To my agent, Tom Condon, he's been another blessing. Tom, when I called you to tell you I was retiring, I remember exactly where I was. I was standing in the B terminal at DFW, and you never asked why. You just said, Luke, I'll always be here for you. Is there anything I can do to help? That call showed how important your players are to you. I've always appreciated that, and thank you. I probably have the best college buddies in the world. They're sitting right over here. There's a group of about, you can hear them back there. There's a group of about 8 of us that have a very special bond. You guys are a safe place for me. We're always there and never ask for anything in return. I'm so lucky to have you guys, and I'm so lucky that you guys are all here today. Now, like I mentioned before, I didn't have to look far to find out how things were done when I came to Carolina. One of those reasons was Greg and Kara Olson. I was just 21 years old, looking for what it looked like, and you two were so generous in so many ways. Christmas, family vacations, you always included me, and I learned so much from your guys' relationship. But Greg, let's be honest, the season was great, but how great were the off seasons? We had so much fun, and it was one of the best times of my career. Training with you was beyond special. Thank you. I'm also grateful for JJ and Laura Jansen. You guys are just a couple years older than I am, but you both have plenty of wisdom. You're amazing sounding boards, honest, patient. What I told you stayed with you, and you always let me make my own decisions. It always helped me to talk through things with you guys. Ryan and Natalie Cleo, much like the Olsons, you gave me a home when I came to Carolina. I had a safe place to go. Family dinners, movies, and the ability to be around the kids and your family was so important to me. Anna, thank you for being by my side throughout this entire process. I'm so happy that you have been here and able to enjoy it with me. Your love and support means the world to me. Thank you. Now to my first team, my family. My mom's getting ready to start crying down there. She's got her sunglasses on. I have 2 wonderful brothers who are sitting right up here, John and Henry. John's my older brother. He was my first teammate. We played on the same teams growing up. We took our first car rides together, went hunting, fishing, had plenty of adventures in the woods behind our house. John, you've always had the biggest heart, and you may not be the loudest person in the room, but I've always felt your support. It means the world that you're here today. To my younger brother, Henry, we are 7 years apart, but I look to you for motivation. Your drive, your determination, and will to find the way to be the best is so fun to watch. You're consistent in what you do, and it's so cool to see. I've seen it through schooling and now in the medical residency. Your ability to wake up, be the same person, treat everyone well, and do your job the best you can has made me so proud. More than anything, your honesty. You know how to offer your opinion without being pushy. You speak your mind, you get great feedback. That's so valuable. And lastly, to my mom and dad, thank you. There are not enough words. Thank you for every ride, every practice, every sacrifice, every lesson, every meal. Mom, for every lunch packed, annoyed phone call on the way home from games, and from Sunday night football evenings on the couch. Dad, I think Larry mentioned this, or somebody already mentioned it, for the most thoughtful, well thought out answers. You gave me what I needed, not always what I wanted, and that's so important. Thank you for showing John, Henry, and me what love and consistency looks like. Thank you for creating a home where effort, humility, and gratitude matter. Thank you for teaching me that a simple smile goes a long way. You never pushed me to be a good football player. You pushed me to be a good person. And that gift means more than anything. I love you guys. I'm going to close with something that Jerry Richardson used to say. He must have told us 1,000 times. The most valuable member of the team is the fan. in Charlotte and throughout the Carolinas sure proved that Mr. Richardson was right. You welcomed us. More importantly, you welcomed me to the community. And every game, every play at Bank of America Stadium felt like being home because of you guys. Some of you are here in Canton, and that means the world to me. I've been incredibly fortunate to have been touched by the game of football. Football has given me so much more than I could have ever imagined. The people I met, the experiences we've shared, and the joy that I found throughout this game. It will stay with me for the rest of my life. Your love and support have meant more than you'll ever know. Thank you to everyone who's been part of this journey. Thank you for sharing today with me, and most importantly, keep pounding.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Pete Rozelle Radio Television Award is presented annually by the Pro Football Hall of Fame to recognize long-time and exceptional contributions to radio and television in professional football. Congratulations to this year's winner, CBS and Fox Sports Director and two-decade partner with Pat Summerall and John Madden, the late Sandy Grossman. He is represented today by his son, Dean. We also recognize the winner of the Bill Nunn Memorial Award, as chosen by the Professional Football Writers of America. Congratulations to Barry Wilner, the National Football Beat Writer for the Associated Press for more than 30 years. And receiving the Ralph Hay Pioneer Award from the Pro Football Hall of Fame for significant contributions to the game of football was the late Seymour Sewell, keeper of the NFL's official statistics for 67 years as owner of the Elias Sports Bureau. He is represented today by his grandson, Joe Gilston. We salute all three special award winners.
I don't know if you can say it enough times. The fact that Kuechly led the league, not just rookies, his rookie season, and then did it again in his sophomore season. That is a crazy fast start to his NFL career. Rondé, how did you feel about his speech?
Well, behind those chiseled good looks and well thought out words, Elijah Campbell, the guy was so fun to watch play. My last year in the league in 2012 was his first. And being in the NFC South, I got to experience that. When you get to talk to this guy and you realize how passionate this guy was as a football player, unmatched instinct, preparation, and though his career was short, it was incredibly impactful. And Luke Kuechly, you are a stud.
You know, the big thing about being quarterback, you're always staring at that middle linebacker. And you know he's staring right back at you. There's Singletary, there's Willie Lanier, there's Butkus, now there's Luke Kuechly. So you always have to worry about that guy. And I'm so glad I never had to play against him, because he combined intelligence, athleticism, and speed, and a great, great hitter.
Well, I think our next inductee probably also did want to play against him, but either one wanted to play against him. Anyways, Roger Craig is next, ladies and gentlemen.
With us today from the 30th anniversary class of 1991, Earl Campbell, John Hanna, and Jan Stenerud. And from the 40th anniversary class of 1986, Willie Lanier.
The one to watch is now the one to click. The new 21 News app has the most recent local news and a search button to quickly find all the day's news every day. Get more local news now from 21 News.
And welcome back to the Pro Football Hall of Fame Enshrinement Ceremony here on YSN Live. I'm Rob Johnson, joined by Tyler Burke. Some of the Hall of Famers are getting ready to take some pictures, but they're going to head back to the stage. Here's Chris Berman.
The air conditioning's coming on soon, don't worry. Those 49ers teams of the 80s, huh? The imagery of those 49ers teams of the 80s still vivid in our minds. 4 Super Bowl titles in an 8-year span. And many have been enshrined here from those teams years ago. Many have come back, almost all of them, to help honor the next man we're going to meet. There's been something missing, though, all of these years, until now. Because now, it's Roger Craig's turn. Drafted in the second round in 1983 out of Nebraska. A program with outstanding running backs that ran the I formation. Well, in the I formation, backs didn't catch a lot of footballs. But when you came to Bill Walsh's offense, Joe Montana was quarterback, you certainly did. In 1984, the San Francisco 49ers went 18-1. Roger had over 1,300 yards rushing from scrimmage, 10 touchdowns in the regular season. But in their Super Bowl win over Miami, who also had only lost 2 games that year, so that was quite a matchup, Roger became the first player in Super Bowl history to tally 3 touchdowns in 1 game. In his third year, 1985, completely off the charts. He surpassed 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving. The first back ever to do that was Roger Craig. And I know that we pass the ball a lot more now and things are different from the 80s, but it's only happened twice since. Marshall Faulk, of course, is a Hall of Famer, and Christian McCaffrey is on his way. Only other 2 guys that have done that. So that's how special Roger was as a player. 1988, he had another 2,000 yards total from scrimmage, was the Offensive Player of the Year in the NFL, and the Niners won Super Bowl 23. And they rolled again in Super Bowl 24. His style of running, with those knees running so high, almost hurdler-like, wasn't it? It was a unique style. It was difficult to tackle him. He might have got a knee in the helmet. I know the knee might have hurt, but Roger figured trying to tackle him might hurt a little bit more. Ronnie Lott said, who was his roommate a long time ago, I have never been around a person who was that intense about the game of football. Now, that's coming from Ronnie Lott, okay? He's talking about Roger. His running style, what did he do? He charged up and down the trails and hills of Edgewood Park in Redwood City, California, inspiring Jerry Rice to do the same. It was quickly called The Hill. At long last, Roger Craig has climbed the hill to the Hall of Fame. And to present Roger today, please welcome his teammate, not only with the 49ers, but way back yonder in Davenport, Iowa, Jamie Lee.
I got two words that basically defines Roger's career in the NFL. Chaos theory.
Oh, Roger Craig is just unbelievable.
This guy looks like he has fun playing. Only Roger Craig could make that run.
If you look at him running, you think it's chaos. Legs are going everywhere, arms going everywhere, his eyes are big as quarters.
Every time he carried the ball, anything could happen.
You find yourself a number of times going, how did he do that?
But in chaos theory, there is order, and you have to find it. And that's what Roger did. He was the order within the disorder.
Roger Craig's road to Canton began in Davenport, Iowa. A multi-sport athlete, he followed his older brother Curtis to the University of Nebraska. After leading the Cornhuskers to a pair of conference titles, Roger was selected by the 49ers in the second round of the 1983 NFL Draft and immediately made an impact on his new teammates with his unique running style.
You mean like this?
Yeah. I had the honor to play with Roger in elementary, in junior high school. In high school, we were college roommates at the University of Nebraska. We got to play together with the great San Francisco 49ers. People always ask me about Roger's running style with the high knees and stuff.
Just get those feet going, boom, 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 like piston.
I think they just think I'm messing around, but I'm like, he was doing it in second grade.
I don't know if anybody ever had a running style like Roger Craig. He ran, his knees almost touched his chin.
Seeing Roger, high step over people and trash them. He goes Superman. Goes high, just dives over the entire offensive line, defensive line. That's instincts. He put his cape on and said, let's go.
An unexpected wrinkle in Roger's game came from his skills not just as an explosive runner, but as an elite pass catcher. Despite catching just 4 passes his senior year at Nebraska, Roger was a dream fit for Bill Walsh's West Coast offense.
Bill Walsh saw that Roger could do more than just, carry the ball 32 times.
The 49ers drafted Roger Craig. It made him a different offensive team.
I think the versatility of him being able to be a receiver created so many other things that Joe could do. If I do get in trouble, who can I go to?
I really and truly think if Roger was not on our team, we may have had some trouble with the West Coast offense because he made it happen.
Roger Craig quickly established himself as not just a great receiver, but a record-breaking one.
After Roger Craig catches the ball, you better look out.
In 1985, he became the first player in NFL history with 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving in a single season, a feat that has only been accomplished twice since.
It's almost inconceivable that somebody could do that.
Once he got to about 600 yards of receiving and about 800 yards rushing, he said, I'm getting it, Jamie. I don't care what happens. They're going to drag me out the field.
To have that year that he had.
Roger Craig has done something that no one else has ever done in the history of the NFL.
He was willing to do all the little things that you have to do to be great.
It was not just about Roger, it was about the fact that he's changing the game. He's showing that backs can be versatile.
That versatility not only changed the way the NFL looked at running backs, but also showed up in the biggest moments on the game's biggest stage. Roger won 3 Super Bowls with the 49ers and had over 100 scrimmage yards in each of those wins. And in a decisive Super Bowl 19 victory, Roger became the first player to ever score 3 touchdowns in a single Super Bowl.
That Super Bowl was obviously a great win. Roger had a phenomenal game. Joe Montana had a phenomenal game.
From the left side, caught by Craig all the way to the end zone. Touchdown!
I thought they should have been co-MVPs.
There he is, Bronte. ever to score 3 touchdowns in a Super Bowl.
Roger Craig retired from the NFL as just the 12th player to ever have over 13,000 career yards from scrimmage. And while the knock from Canton took longer than expected, the moment couldn't have been sweeter.
Welcome to the 2026 Hall of Fame, bro!
The reason we celebrate him today is because there's no one that was able to do what he was able to do.
I've never seen another player with his style, his desire, or his competitiveness. That's why it was so important that this man took his rightful place in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Congratulations. I love you. Love you, brother. He represents the NFL in this idea of these warrior poets. He was a gladiator, and yet he was a kind human helping others. It is an honor and privilege to present my friend, Roger Timothy Craig, for enshrinement into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Roger Craig for enshrinement in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, his former teammate Jamie Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, Roger Craig has elected to deliver his acceptance remarks in a video. Please direct your attention to the screens throughout the stadium.
You spend your whole life trying to prove if you belong. And then one day, you're told you're one of the all-time greats. Man, it's overwhelming. I think about that kid from Davenport who loved football. I think about the journey more than anything. The early mornings, the doubts, the sacrifices. It all led here. I want to thank Pro Football Hall of Fame and the people of Canton who honored this game and preserved this history. To all the Hall of Famers here today, thank you for building this game, elevating it, and setting the standard for a generation that follows. It's an honor to join you. And to my teammates, the class of 26, congratulations. When I look at this class, Drew, Larry, Luke, and Adam, I see some of the greatest players to ever play this game. I retired in 1993 before any of these guys have played the NFL snap. Like so many football fans, I spend years watching and admiring what they have accomplished on the field. It's a privilege to be part of the Hall of Fame with you. I want to thank Sal P for presenting me and helping me tell my story. But this story begins with my parents. Hard work wasn't an option in my house. It was expected. They taught me 3 things that helped shape my life. Work hard, stay humble, keep your faith. My father, Elijah, worked as a mechanic at Wonder Bread. Before senior year in high school, he was diagnosed with lung cancer and passed away at 45 years old. He never got to see Nebraska, never got to see the NFL, but everything I became started with him. My mother raised 7 children and worked the night shift as a machine operator. She sacrificed more than any of us would ever know. I always looked up to my older brother, Curtis. I wanted to be just like him. He, my parents, and my coaches helped shape the man I became. Nebraska is where I became a man. Coach Tom Osborne taught discipline, accountability, and doing things the right way. It wasn't just football, it was preparation for life. I believed in myself, but I also knew nothing was guaranteed. I wasn't the biggest guy, I wasn't the fastest. I knew I had to outwork people. When I was drafted by the 49ers, I remember thinking, this was my shot. When I learned that Bill Walsh wanted me, that meant something because he saw something in me that others didn't. He didn't just want a running back. He wanted a complete football player. He trusted me to do whatever the team needed. That's why the 1,000 yards rushing, the 1,000 yards receiving season means so much to me. We weren't chasing numbers. We were chasing W's, wins. I didn't realize I was making history. It just felt like we were doing something special as a team. Looking back, I appreciate how difficult it is and how few players have done it since. What means the most is knowing we helped expand what people thought a running back could be. None of that happens without great teammates. What made those 49er teams special, we weren't selfish. Nobody cared who got the credit. We cared about winning. I was blessed to share the field with some incredible people. There are far too many teammates to name, but I wouldn't be standing here without them. Ronnie Lott was my roommate, my business partner, and my brother. Being around Ronnie made me better. Joe Montana was always Joe Cool. You would look into his eyes in the huddle and just know we are good. We all miss Dwight Clark. Dependable. On the field and off it. Jerry Rice gets a lot of credit for running that hill. What people may not know, that work started before Jerry. The hill wasn't about being seen. It's about being better. No shortcuts, just the work. I showed Jerry the hill, and he took it to another level. That was Jerry. I had to thank Eddie DeBartolo, the greatest owner in the NFL. Eddie took care of his players and treated us like family. His belief in me means more than he ever knew. I'm grateful that I get to join him, Coach Walsh, and so many of my teammates here in Canton. I also want to thank the York family and the entire 49ers organization. Thank you for continuing to embrace former players and keeping us connected to the organization. I was fortunate to spend time with the Raiders and Vikings later in my career. They were different experiences, different cultures. I learned something everywhere I went. But those years also showed me just how special what we built in San Francisco really was. I want to thank Vivek Ranadive for giving me a chance after football to explore a new career in tech and always having my back. I also want to thank my presenter, Jamie Williams. Nobody will believe this, but me and Jamie went to elementary school, junior high school, college, and won a Super Bowl in San Francisco. He's like a brother to me. Nobody understands me better because we come from the same place, the same journey, and the same foundation. Jamie, thank you for honoring me today. Having you here means more than I can put in words. And most importantly, my family, especially my wife, Vanessa. She's my high school sweetheart. She's been by my side through every chapter in this journey. I am blessed to be the father of Demisha, Romitra, Roderick, Alex, and Nia. I'm the grandfather of Nyla, Remy, Huntley, Harlan, and baby Roger. When I look at my family, that's what I'm most proud of. The championships were special, the records were special, but they are my greatest blessing. Today, there's another chapter I want to share. I've been diagnosed with vascular dementia that my doctors believe may be related, at least in part, to the concussions I experienced during my career. The changes were gradual. At first, they were easy to dismiss as normal aging. Over time, my family noticed it too, and ultimately led us to seek answers from my doctor. Two things can be true. Football gave me opportunities beyond anything I could imagine. It helped shape the man I became. At the same time, we know more today about brain health than when I played. And I hope sharing my story encourages people to pay attention to their health and seek help when something doesn't feel right. I want people to know this diagnosis doesn't define me. I am still Roger Craig. I'm still a father, a husband, a teammate, a friend, and someone who loves this game and the people who brought it to my life. If sharing my story helped even one family or one former player, then it's worth it. Football gave me everything: opportunity, discipline, lifelong friends, and a platform to grow as a man. This honor belongs to my parents, who started it all. It belongs to my wife, Vanessa, my children and grandchildren, and it belongs to every coach, teammate, and fan who was a part of this journey. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this game, grateful for the people it brought into my life, and grateful I can stand before you today and call this journey a blessing. Thank you.
I can't thank Roger Craig enough for his openness and vulnerability. That was such an emotional and amazing speech. Dan, what did you take away from that?
Well, I think about his career, number one. And when you put together a football team, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. 49ers has a great quarterback in Joe, a great wide receiver in Jerry Rice, the leader in Ronnie Lott. One missing piece that made it all work was Roger Craig. And his ability to do what we just heard, and the man that he is, and the emotion that he just shared with us, just amazing.
Well, I thank the senior committee for getting him in. It's been a long wait for Roger Craig. And I think about my childhood with my brother watching the great running backs of those eras. And there's a couple that we wanted to emulate. Walter Payton was certainly one of them, his running style. But the way that Roger Craig ran the football, the way he dominated the football game meant so much to so many young people watching him in those 49er teams. But I think most importantly is what you said, sharing that diagnosis, his journey, where he is today. Roger, you got a family now in the Pro Football Hall of Fame with all 387 of us, and we're going to be on that journey with him. It's hard to comment on him right now, but this was a great, great moment for the Craig family.
I'm just glad it was a waterproof mascara because it was necessary. Listen, we don't get a chance to talk after our next recipient, so let's just talk about Drew Brees here for a second. Dan, what's Drew Brees induction? Give us some context here at the quarterback position.
Well, you know, he started in San Diego and had a great start to his career. Rough at times, and then the bad shoulder injury, and then to be traded away is not an easy adjustment, number one. But to go to New Orleans and have this question mark about his throwing ability and overcome that and just become the outstanding quarterback and citizen of New Orleans and leading them to the Super Bowl and all the numbers and all the years. And this crowd right here, the Hoodats, this is Drew Brees' cricket.
I think 14 times. I don't know how many times I beat him, but I did intercept him 3 times.
Three interceptions?
I just want Drew to know.
No, you don't like it.
I tell you what, there was a lot of great quarterbacks, and he played in an era of Goliath at the position. Think about the men that are already in the Hall of Fame, the ones that are going to go in after him, and yet he stood on top of all of those men with confidence, preparation, precision. No more deserving player. This is a fantastic class. It certainly, I think, sets the bar for what the Hall of Fame is and should be about. And there's no more deserving one than Drew Brees. All these Hoodats, all these Saints fans, get ready for one heck of a presentation from one heck of a quarterback.
And this is coming from a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, no less. Listen, it's so interesting to see who he will choose to welcome them into the Hall of Fame. We saw the tear-filled asking of his coach, Sean Payton. What does that mean? When you ask your presenter, what does that mean to you, Rondé?
Well, I had no choice in mine. It was my brother on this team, obviously. But it is one of the most important decisions you can make for a Hall of Famer. And to put Sean Payton there, who also I love and hate, to be his presenter is fantastic, and it's well deserved.
It's a special relationship, obviously, between a coach and a quarterback. I, of course, had my great coach, Don Coryell, present me. I wouldn't be here with you guys right now if it wasn't for him. Now, this is a special moment coming up with Sean presenting Drew.
Well, I'm pretty sure we're going to need our waterproof mascara yet again for this one. That does it for us today here at Hall of Fame Live. I really appreciate you guys being here with me. We talk about gratitude. I am so grateful to be sitting amongst two legends and amongst all these 120 total Hall of Famers here today. So special. Proud you're amazing. Enjoy Drew Brees' speech.
A better night's sleep starts at Sleepy Hollow Sleep Shop. Discover luxury sleep solutions for any budget with a carefully curated gallery of premier mattresses from leading manufacturers, including Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, Serta Perfect Sleeper, Beautyrest Black, and more, all under one roof. Plus, enjoy exclusive closeout savings on select mattresses up to 50%.
Jambalaya, po' boys, gumbo, shrimp etouffee, beignets on the house. All right? 2 decades ago, the Crescent City, as we all remember, was decimated by Hurricane Katrina. Their symbol of pride, one of them for sure. The New Orleans Saints even became nomads, as did many of you citizens from New Orleans and the Bayou area. The Saints returned home in 2006 with a new coach and a new quarterback named Drew Brees. Not even Emerald could have cooked up a script that was about to occur. That year, the Hootats reached the NFC Championship game. In 2009, the team whose fans once wore bags over their heads won the Super Bowl. The pairing of Drew Brees and Sean Payton had a humming passing attack that, in those particular playoffs, outshone team's quarterback by eventual Hall of Famer. Kurt Warner, Brett Favre, Peyton Manning. That was the path they took. Drew Brees started a run that would see him lead the NFL in passing yards 7 times, 5 times threw for over 5,000 yards. 4 times he led the league in touchdown passes. His accuracy, of course, was off the charts. What I remember also about those Saints teams, as do you guys as well, last 2 minutes of the half, even the first half, second half game on the line sometimes. First half, little things contributed to points, which contributed to wins. Another game I remember in 2013, I think that was the year against Dallas. New Orleans picked up 40 first downs. I said 40, okay? Now think about that for a minute. You actually can't do that. You can't make 40 first downs in a game. The game is 60 minutes long. The other team has the ball. Sometimes they're kicking plays in it, but they had 40 first downs. Unbelievable. Most important, still don't know how they did it. Most important in Brees' 15 years as commander-in-chief of the Saints, New Orleans won double-digit games. The leader of the fleur-de-lis on the field and in the community. I recall him saying as quarterback coming off an injury in San Diego, not knowing if he was going to find a home or make a career that would lead to here. Well, I needed New Orleans a lot more than New Orleans needed me. That would be Drew Brees. He, like Larry, we talked about earlier today, was a winner of the Walter Payton Man of the Year award as well. He should have been. And I have one bone to pick with Drew, and he knows it's coming. So we recruited him at Brown, okay? How did he pick Drew? We'll let that one go, Drew. All right. I think it turned out okay. 571 touchdown passes, second all time. Now pay attention to this. 80,000 yards, second all time. I said 80,000. Do the math. It's almost 46 miles of completed passes, which is more than halfway from New Orleans to Baton Rouge. All right. It's fitting we're in Tom Benson Stadium. All right, and I'm just observing it. It's fitting that gold jacket, one of the Saints' colors, yeah? So to present Drew Brees today, the dynamic duo is back together again. His coach, Sean Payton.
Drew's football IQ was uncanny.
No quarterback in NFL history has done it better than Drew Brees.
He was elite as a leader.
You're the hunter or you're the hunted. We came here to hunt.
Extremely accurate and precise.
And it is a touchdown.
He hated to lose.
Come on, win the game.
And he was the smartest player I've ever coached.
A first ballot Hall of Famer, 2-time AP Offensive Player of the Year, and more 5,000-yard passing seasons than any player in NFL history. Drew Brees rewrote the record books.
Deep into Drew's career, it was pretty normal each weekend for some record or benchmark to be eclipsed. But Washington Monday Night Football, I think everyone on the team knew that he was going to become the all-time leading passer in the NFL. that play in the first half where he throws the go ball outside to Traquan Smith.
And Traquan Smith is going to go to the end zone. Drew Brees has done it.
At that moment, there's this pause. You're watching it all. You could just feel it with the fans, with his teammates, and then here on the sideline was his family that had been on the same journey with him.
Hey, I love you guys so much.
The San Diego move, the recovery,
Drew is absolutely hurt.
the highs and lows, the new city, new team, and he's having that moment of not only do I belong at the top.
Drew Brees finished his career among the most prolific passers the game has ever seen. He presently ranks second all-time in passing yards and second in career touchdown passes.
We were better coaches when he was our starting quarterback. We were a better team with him as a leader. Drew, man, it has been an honor to have a front row seat watching you play quarterback for the Saints at such a high level. You made my job easy, and all of us are better for having been a part of this with you. So thank you. You've more than earned it. I'm honored and privileged to present Drew Brees for enshrinement to the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Drew Brees for enshrinement in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, his former coach, Canton.
Class of 2026, I could not have asked for a better class of men, players, and contributors to the great game of football. It is an absolute honor to join this elite fraternity with you, and we are now bonded for life. To all the Hall of Famers, you've inspired generations, you've passed it forward, and we will do the same. It is impossible to properly articulate or encapsulate all the feelings, emotions, and appreciation that comes along with a 20-year NFL career in the time that we have. But I will do my best to entertain and enlighten you with the stories, places, and people who shaped my mindset, directed my trajectory, and defined my career. We may laugh, we may cry. Chance I make it through this without crying is zero. But most of all, I hope we leave with a greater love, respect, and reverence for the virtues of this game. I've always relished the opportunity to play sports and be a part of the team. I came from a very athletic and competitive family. In fact, this story best sums up how important sports was to our family growing up. My uncle, Marty Akins, was an All-American quarterback at the University of Texas, running the wishbone offense with future Pro Football Hall of Famer Earl Campbell. When Marty was in elementary school, he was called into the principal's office with my grandfather, Ray Akins, who was a legendary high school football coach in the state of Texas. The principal went on to say that she had some concerns about what young Marty was being taught at home. Apparently in class that day, Marty had been asked to stand up and name the 4 seasons. Instead of saying summer, fall, winter, and spring, Marty instead said football, basketball, baseball, and track. I'd like to thank all of the members of my family for hardwiring this competitive desire and spirit into my system at a very early age. To my father, Chip, thank you that the answer to me whenever I would ask to play catch, to pitch to me, shoot hoops with me, or drop me off at the field was always yes. My mother, Mina Ruth Akins, was the most competitive person I've ever known. She passed away 17 years ago yesterday. So much of her lives inside of me. And I know how proud she would be of me, but even more so of her grandchildren. My brother Reed, whether we were catching crawfish in Shoal Creek, riding our bikes to the baseball card shop, or putting dents in our parents' garage, pitching to each other. You were the best brother I could ever ask for. And to my sister Audrey, I'm so proud of your accomplishments and the woman you've become. I don't take for granted that I got to play the most coveted position in all the sports. From as far back as I can remember, I wanted to play quarterback. I never saw the position as one of pressure, but rather one of great responsibility. Bill Parcells described it as the steady hand that steers the ship. Marty Schottenheimer would say, there is no position on the field whose performance has greater impact on those around him. Bill Walsh often emphasized that great quarterback play is about making the correct decisions repeatedly. The quarterback is the distributor of hope and confidence, a master of probability, the ultimate problem solver. I've always seen the game of football and the quarterback position as a true art form, like a song or a dance. Key to the art form was controlling the rhythm of the game. Everything had a rhythm, from the articulation of the play in the huddle, to the pre-snap cues and communication, to the cadence and the snap of the ball, to your feet dropping back, the timing and flow of your hitch or your gather, to the 0.3 seconds between your front foot hitting the ground that set off a combustion of energy from the ground force all the way from your toes to your fingertips, as it translates power to the pronation and the spin of the ball as it releases into the atmosphere. That feeling is what I live for. I wish I could say we're stress-free. Quite the contrary. The amount of headspace this occupied in a given week was all-consuming. How can I visualize every eventuality, every possible scenario? What if the defense does this? What if it does that? What if they decide to take this player away? What if they bring that exotic pressure in that crucial situation, Luke Kuechly? But I love the chess match. It was a complex puzzle to solve. Each drive represented a section of that puzzle. If you failed with one, you could log away that information and come back to it later with a different perspective or a different confidence. And to solve it was euphoric. Because through the process, you saw something take place. You saw a masterpiece come together. Every teammate, position, playing an integral role in the final outcome. And that feeling began in high school. To this day, one of the proudest accomplishments of my career was winning a Texas 5A state championship for Westlake High School in Austin, Texas. Youth sports, and especially high school football, should always be about character and leadership development, teamwork, and positive affiliation. May we never forget that. Thank you to Ron Schrader and all of our coaches at Westlake, who built a program that we all strive to be a part of, one that prioritized discipline, accountability, camaraderie. Thank you to Carmen Chiara, the mentor and motivator for our entire team, as we suffered through summer conditioning at Heartbreak Hill in East Austin on Pedernales Street. And to the class of 1997, who led with incredible passion and purpose, becoming the measuring stick for every team that followed. For one of the most life-changing events occurred my junior year of high school. After suffering a major knee injury, which put my athletic career in jeopardy, my identity was challenged. Up until that point, sports had defined me, and I wasn't sure who I was without it. Sitting in church on my 17th birthday, Christ came into my heart and changed me forever. I felt protected, connected, and directed towards the path that God had for me. He would equip me for the journey, which led me to places I never could have expected. Thank you to Pastor Sean Mitchell, Miles McPherson, Rob Wilton, and Troy Martin for your Christian mentorship in my life. Purdue University. I still don't know how you got this Texas kid up to West Lafayette, Indiana, but it was certainly one of the best decisions I ever made. Sorry, Boone. I chose Purdue because of its academic reputation and the opportunity to play in the Big Ten Conference. Little did I know I would be 4 years later with one of the most respected degrees in the country, a Big Ten championship, the love of my life, and an opportunity to live out my childhood dream, being a professional athlete. It is an absolute honor to join Purdue greats Bob Brees, Glenn Dawson, Rod Woodson, and legendary coach Enshrinment as Boilermakers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Thank you to Tim Pumplepan, a wide receiver coach at Purdue, and the one who claims to have stood on the table to recruit this 6'1", 170-pound kid out of Central Texas. To coaches Jim Chaney and Greg Olson, thank you for pushing me, for preparing me, for testing me, and always holding me accountable. To our late head coach Joe Tiller, thank you for creating an environment where we always had to prove it. You always had that look in your eye like you knew something we didn't. You knew how hard to push us. That was well past our perceived limits. We trusted your plan as you set a new standard that developed grit, toughness, and put a massive chip on our shoulders. We carried that everywhere we went. Two of my best friends in the world were part of that class at Purdue, Benson and Jason Lorzell. Thank you for your friendship, your loyalty, your unwavering support, and being there for me during some of my toughest moments. As great as it was to be your teammates and lifelong friends, what's even better is watching our children grow up together. So many emotions travel through you during the NFL draft process. With one pick, your life and circumstances can change forever. You just hope that you end up in the right place, the right time, right team, right coach, right system. Thank you to Spanos family, General Manager John Butler, and Coach Warren Turner, who had everything to do with drafting me to the San Diego Chargers in the second round of the 2001 NFL Draft. This was exactly where I was supposed to be. And what made it even sweeter, I was joining the guy they drafted in the first round, Hall of Famer, one of the greatest running backs in history, LaDainian Tomlinson. How many people know this? LT and I grew up 2 hours from each other and played on the South Texas All-Star team together in 1997. We found our way back together 4 years later as Heisman Trophy finalists. At the Heisman presentation, we both made a statement. Wouldn't it be something if we ended up on the same team? LT, I always felt a strong kinship with you. We had so much in common. Drafted the same year, married the same year, won the Walter Payton Man of the Year the same year. We grew up together quickly. I credit so many things in my career to the 5 years I spent with the Chargers. From the first moment I walked into the facility, there was no question who the leaders were. Junior Seau and Rodney Harrison. You always hope that your best players are your hardest workers and your best leaders. And that standard was clear with Junebug and Hot Rod. Another one of the great influences early in my career was Doug Flutie. Doug, you were ahead of your time. I saw you throwing back shoulder throws, no-look passes, and manipulating arm angles long before it became a revolutionary thing. I modeled so much of my game after you, and I'm not sure there was anyone more competitive. Thank you for being supportive of me throughout my entire career. Lorenzo Neal, one of the greatest fullbacks ever played the game. They don't make them like you anymore, Lo. Lo Neal used to call me PB. As a young player, it was PB. One day, Lo Neal said, "You know why I call you PB? Man, it means Pro Bowler. Because that's who you are, but you got to believe it." Lo, you just don't know how much that meant to me at the time. I love you, PB. Antonio Gates, one of the greatest tight ends to ever play the game. I just wish we had more time together. Marty Schottenheimer, one of the greatest coaches and motivators to ever coach this game, and who belongs here at Canton. Marty was my biggest fan. He would tell me that all the time. Even as he benched me 3 times and made me fight for my job every year with 2 greats, Doug Flutie and Philip Rivers. The first 2 times I got benched, I deserved it. The 3rd time, I still don't think I deserved it, Coach. But nonetheless, it lit more than a fire. It forced me to access a place in my mind, my heart, that I had not yet been. The adversity was not expected, very necessary. I would never have reached the heights I did without it. I knew I needed to play better, but more importantly, I knew that he believed I would play better. Thank you to Coach Cam Cameron and Brian Schottenheimer, offensive coordinator and quarterback coach for the Chargers. Never forget a film session in 2003. I was coming off a tough game, and as we watched the tape together, they asked me the question, hey, why didn't you throw to this receiver? He was wide open. Which my response was, I couldn't see him. The tape paused. There was a moment of silence. They glared at me and said, it's your job to see. You reach a point in your career when you stop making excuses. It's usually a moment or an event where you flip a switch or make a very conscious decision, and it becomes part of your being. They were right, and never again would those words or thoughts come out of my mouth. I would need to find a way to play the game a little bit differently, even if it was in a way that had not been done before. It would shape me for what came next. New Orleans. When we bought our home in the heart of uptown New Orleans, Brittany and I could not have been more excited and scared to embark on this new journey and chapter in our lives. As we were moving in, containers and housewarming gifts began to show up at the front door. As I opened the lid to the first container, expecting to see brownies or perhaps chocolate chip cookies, it was rather the smell of butter and onions, Cajun seasoning, and a dark roux that made up crawfish etouffee. The next day it was jambalaya. The next it was gumbo. And we're not talking a small container. We're talking a big vat of the best home-cooked Louisiana flavors you could imagine. Welcome to New Orleans. But nothing compares to what we experienced every Monday night during my career in New Orleans. For 15 years straight, and this is no exaggeration, our neighbors, Steve and Kathy Price, would make our family bread, beans, and rice. Whether it was their house, our house, or with great friends like Trombone Shorty, it was what we all looked forward to together. It was the perfect representation of what New Orleans is all about. It doesn't take you long to realize what makes New Orleans so special. New Orleans has been through a lot, to the point where in some cases the feeling was we may have lost everything. It may never come back the same. Storms teach us that our greatest treasures aren't the things that we own. They're the people we love and the way we show up for one another. It reminds us to hold our loved ones a little closer, love a little harder, laugh a little louder, and to never take a single day for granted. Sometimes it takes losing what can be replaced to truly appreciate the things that can. New Orleans, you accepted me, you embraced me, you believed in me, but more importantly, you trusted me with the soul of the city, and I would have died to protect that calling. Who accept the responsibility, being true representations of their city, country, community. I speak for all of my Saints teammates when I say that's what we were inspired to do every day for you. If you love New Orleans, it'll love you back. There is no truer statement. To the Who Dat Nation. There are a few events in your life where you remember exactly where you were when it occurred. For Saints fans, it is the Steve Gleason block punt on Monday Night Football. September 25th, 2006. And when the Saints won Super Bowl 44. It was your spirit that allowed us to be special, to smell greatness, and to finish strong. To Tom and Gail Benson, I will always appreciate Mr. Tom Benson's grandfatherly advice. When he would call me into his office, slide the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times in front of me with excerpts highlighted for me to read. He wanted to make sure I didn't lose sight of the important things happening in the world and in our community, even as we prepared to beat our next opponent. And I'll always appreciate Miss Gail Benson's grace, calm demeanor, and thoughtfulness. She would routinely deliver handwritten notes to her players expressing gratitude for their community work and congratulations on their personal accomplishments. Joel Laguardia, my quarterback coach for more than a decade. I respect you so much as a man, the values you hold dear, and for always being a calming presence and a voice of reason. Pete Carmichael, I was with Pete for 19 of my 20 years in the NFL, 4 with the Chargers and 15 with the Saints, mostly as our offensive coordinator. I'm not sure anyone dedicated themselves to the job more than you, Pete. I'm not sure anyone put more time or thought into preparing our teams than me. I'm so grateful for the years we spent together and the incredible moments that we shared. To Sean Payton. I miss our dot meetings, Coach. The night before every game, talking through every play, every situation, every matchup in the greatest of detail. I would literally ask Sean, hey, Coach, when do you think you'll call this play? He would squint his eyes and purse his lips. You know that, right? Second quarter, cross midfield, probably 47-yard line. 2nd and 10, left hash, left middle. They'll never expect it. Precise, instinctive. Coach, you were brilliant. I saw myself as an extension of you on that field. I always had something to prove to you, and I always wanted to make you right. And I know you trusted me, and that allowed us both to be great. I've been sitting next to you, Orny, and Coach Vitt on the bus in Philly as Edge would hit our bus from Eagles fans on the way to the stadium. And just watching you grin with satisfaction. I missed the 3-hour flights home from Dallas to New Orleans after a big win. By the way, folks, that's only supposed to be an hour flight. But Sean would have the pilot circled 10 times so we could soak the celebration on the plane a little bit longer. You never missed an opportunity to enjoy the moment. You always had a plan and a vision for every player you coached. I'm not sure this is how you envision my journey, or how big a role that you would play in it, but I love you for it. Thank you. Our general manager during my entire career in New Orleans, Mickey Loomis. Sean Payton got a lot of credit. I got a lot of credit. Mickey, you did not get enough credit. You put character, leadership, and culture at the front of every decision. And the results speak for themselves. Tom House, a friend, mentor, confidant, who came into my life at a critical time. We grew together, we learned together, and had a heck of a lot of fun doing it. Thank you for teaching me to order the chaos, prolong my prime, and make gratitude my secret weapon. Todd Durkin, my friend, mentor, and trainer. Create impact, be the light. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. You didn't just say it, you lived it, you modeled it. Every offseason was our laboratory to test the limits and reach new heights. Gerald McCoy, Charles Tillman, Chase Daniel, Darren Sproles. Our offseason workouts will forever be legendary. To my friend and contract agent for my entire 20-year career, Tom Condon. To my friend and marketing agent for over 20 years, Chris Stewart. To my friend and CPA for the last 25 years, John Powell. To my friend and PT, always keeps me healthy for a decade, Bo Lowry. Thank you all for making the team behind the scenes that always looked out for me. my kids, Balin, Bowen, Callan, Riley. You are our greatest joy, greatest accomplishment, and greatest responsibility. At times during my career, you were my training partners. Other times, you were my caretakers. You helped me study film. You even helped me brave the cold tub. But most importantly, you always helped me remember to have fun. I played longer than I ever imagined, in many ways, because you continued to ignite my love and passion for the game as I saw it through your eyes. You are forever my greatest inspiration. To my wife, Brittany, I could be up here until the sun sets and beyond, talking about how much my wife means to me. But I'll just tell you a story that encapsulates it all. In 2003, coming off one of the toughest moments of my career with the Chargers, I was distraught, feeling I let my team down. We fly home from Chicago, and when I walk in the door to our home, my wife has printed pictures and quotes my entire career, displayed them throughout every step of our home. She immediately turned one of the toughest moments of my career into a place of love, support, and unwavering confidence. My love, you have always had the ability to remind me who I am and what I'm capable of. So much of what we accomplished was because I knew you were by my side and you believed in this call. One of my favorite coaches, Joe Vitt, used to say, the greatest teams are the ones who care about each other the most. The time we spent together away from the facility was always the most impactful. The offensive line dinners every Thursday night, supporting each other's charity events, the trips and holidays spent together, our Bible studies. Inside the facility, it was about developing timing, rhythm, and communication around a game plan. Outside the facility, it was about relationship, camaraderie, trust, connection, loyalty, and brotherhood. This is where the magic happens. Through life in the locker room, my Saints teammates became family to me. Powerful influence on my children. Despite the fact that my boys would often steal the gloves out of their lockers, like Thomas, Alton, Kamara. And by the way, I have 3 wide receivers on my hands now, so thanks a lot. Words cannot express my love and appreciation for you. I often ask myself, how in the world did I play 20 years in the NFL? Yes, it was for the love of the game. Yes, it was a relentless attempt to master my craft. Yes, it was the grind and the challenge of preparation and the thrill of game day. Do you want to know what it really was? The love of my teammates. I would wake up every day with a burning desire to commit, sacrifice, and command in a way that would give them everything that they deserve. As time passes, those feelings don't diminish. They become stronger. What we build, what we achieve, what we experience together can never be taken away. You all make up the golden threads of this jacket. It represents the history of this game, the great men who pioneered its existence, but most importantly, it represents you. God bless you, and hooray!
Pretty special afternoon. Thank you all for coming. We saw some of the greats, sit with some of the greats. Don't ever forget what you saw here. And what a way to really kick off our football season. I wish all of us here at the Hall of Fame and all of us here at Canton, Ohio, we wish everybody a healthy year. We wish everybody that their team wins a lot of games. And if they don't, there's always another year because we'll be right back here. Early August, same time, same channel. Have a great season, everybody. Great to see you. Who dat?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
And that was the 2026 Pro Football Hall of Fame Enshrinement Ceremony. What an amazing event it was today. I can't speak enough, Tyler. It was absolutely a joy to see all the different speeches and just the different presentations. Just kind of going down the presentations here. It was, I lost my notes. There we go. It was Devin Fitzgerald talking about his dad and the legendary catch in the Super Bowl. And then that was against the Steelers. Unfortunately, the Steelers, I believe, came back and won that game. And then, of course, the speech by Carly Ursay Gordon and Adam, just a huge proponent of her and what she's doing in the NFL now as an owner.
Bring others along with you.
Of course, Tom Kuechly, father of Luke Kuechly, talking about his son. What an amazing thing that was. Seeing father being able to induct his son. Jamie Williams, former teammate of Roger Craig, talking about the high steps and how he used to bring his legs up to his knees as he would run the ball and his, talking about his struggle with early onset dementia and just how courageous he is to try and push through and learn and educate others about that. And then, of course, Coach Sean Payton introducing Drew Brees and just how that was probably one of the best things that ever happened to not just the New Orleans Saints, but the New Orleans community. And it was just absolutely amazing seeing it all, taking it all in, and just a great day. Great speeches by Larry Fitzgerald honoring his folks.
I've been incredibly fortunate to have been touched by the game of football.
Same with Drew Brees talking about his mother who has passed. Luke Kuechly talking about his family. And Roger Craig. It was an all-around family day and just talking about family, children, grandchildren, and, Drew talking about the struggles of going through that Hurricane Katrina and just how they were trying to bring New Orleans back, and that getting that Super Bowl just changed just the atmosphere down there. So, I want to thank everybody for coming on. I want to give a shout out to the Pro Football Hall of Fame for allowing us to come down here and do this. It's a great week, and hope you enjoyed everything that YSN was able to bring to you. I want to thank DJ Yokley, Brian Scott, for allowing us to do all the cool things we get to do. It's just an amazing thing when you can get up every morning and not have to dread getting up and going to work because you're doing something that's just absolutely amazing. And so thanks to those guys. I want to thank all of you for joining us here on the air this afternoon. Obviously without all of you, it's just impossible to do what we do. And I want to give a shout out to my co-pilot, Tyler Burke, being here with me, helping me bring you all the events and action that we can. Tyler and I will be at Louisville tonight to do Louisville girls soccer taking on North Canton Hoovers. So we've got to head off and head to that. So again, thank you for joining us here from the Pro Football Hall of Fame at the 2026 Hall of Fame Enshrinement. For TB, myself, and all of us here at YSN Live, we will see you in a gymnasium, stadium, or event near you. Till next time, everybody, have a great night.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.